Everyone talks in their sleep. It doesn't mean anything. That's the first thing they tell you. The mouth empties out while you're gone. Old phone numbers, half a name, the tail end of an argument you already lost. By morning, it's drained away, and that's a mercy. We were never meant to hear ourselves from the outside. I know all that. I'm going to tell you anyway. I live alone. I started recording my sleep the week after Dana left, the phone face down on the pillow where her head used to be. She left over the snoring. The first time I played it back, there were two voices. One was mine, snoring exactly like she said. I'd have laughed if I'd gotten that far. But under it, down in the room tone, in the part you'd swear was silence, someone asked a question. Low, even, warm somehow. A voice almost like mine, tuned half a step wrong. Close, not something you'd claim. And then my voice answered it. Awake, calm. More awake than I ever am at 3 in the morning. A pause. The kind where someone decides. It said yes. I don't remember saying it. You don't. That's the whole trick of it. Two voices in a one-bedroom apartment. And only one of them was mine. 8 years, and in the end it came down to a sound. She used to elbow me at 3 in the morning, "You're doing it again," and I'd surface just far enough to be sorry. By the time I understood what I was apologizing for, she'd be asleep again. Turned away. I told myself the recording was for the doctor. That was a lie I could stand to hear. What I wanted was proof that it was nothing, that the noise I made was small, ordinary, forgivable. That a person doesn't pack a car over a sound like that. I wanted to lie in the dark and be told I hadn't been the problem. For a week, I was reasonable. People answer themselves in their sleep, a question and an answer, both yours. It's called parasomnia. The walls here are thin, could be the neighbors. I had a shelf full of explanations, and every morning I took one down like a vitamin. None of it took. A reasonable man takes it to a doctor. I never did, more afraid of being right than being sick. I played it for a guy at work. Marcus, good ears, mixes music on weekends. He put my headphones on and listened to all 3 minutes without moving. Then he took them off. That's just you, man. You and a lot of room tone. He heard one voice. He heard me, breathing in an empty room. That was the night I stopped being reasonable and started recording on purpose. I want to be honest about why. Fear, yes. But it was more than that, the part I don't like. The voice knew things, it talked back. In an apartment where the second mug had sat clean for weeks, something in the dark was interested in me. So I hit record every night. To catch the seam. And because, God help me, it was the only conversation in the place. The questions got closer. At first they were nothing. Where did you grow up? What was the street? My sleeping voice gave up the street, warm and easy, glad to be asked. Then, your mother, her name before she married. I gave it up soft, a name I hadn't said aloud in years. By then it wasn't only at night. I'd pour one coffee and turn to 2 mugs on the counter, both steaming. Then my sister, the exact way she used to laugh. And I lay awake the next day trying to remember if I'd ever made that laugh out loud. For anyone, ever. The days started going soft at the edges. I'd always slept 6 hours. Those weeks it crept to 9 to 10, and I woke wrung out anyway, like I'd been up all night doing something. At noon, the second pillow would be dented and warm, like a head had just lifted off it. I heard nothing. One afternoon, I came back to myself at my desk. 2 seconds of me, then gone. The recorder running, a track I never started, the little bar still climbing. The phone hot in my hand. 40 minutes and counting. That's when I understood the shape of it. I'd been listening wrong, braced for a stranger's voice, a break-in. I wasn't overhearing anyone. The room went flat. No hum, nothing. I was hearing my half of the conversation. Every question I had answered. And every answer was yes. And the questions changed. They stopped asking who I'd been. They started asking about tomorrow. What will you tell them at work so no one looks twice? Which neighbor keeps the spare key? When she calls, and she will, what's the voice you use for her? It wasn't studying me anymore. It was rehearsing. Learning to be me by Monday. I understood then what the yes had bought. Not my secrets, my hours. Somewhere in that first night, I'd agreed to let it live in my voice while I wasn't using it. Sleep was the door it came through. Every night I slept a little longer. And every night it was me a little more. The quiet got loud. So I stopped sleeping, or I tried. Coffee, lamps, laps of the apartment at 4 in the morning. One night I sat in the kitchen chair. Every light on. The recorder shut in my fist. Awake, I swear to you I was awake. And I let it run for an hour to prove the room was empty. An hour of it. The fridge kicking on, then off. My own pulse, nothing else. I played it back. 2 people were breathing in that kitchen. And only one of them was mine. The slow one was me. The other was easy and even and patient, and it never once threatened me. Closer than mine, not from across the room, but from just behind my own teeth. It wasn't cruel, it was glad. Sleep had been a door. Now it didn't need one. It was already in the room. It had all the time it wanted. So I went back to the first recording. That night, before I knew there was anything to be afraid of. I turned it up and listened to the opening 10 seconds when I thought there was nothing there. There was something there. Quiet, warm, already comfortable. It said, "Thanks for saying yes." The deal was closed before I hit play. I'd spent a week trying to catch the beginning, and the beginning was behind me the whole time. So, that's the recording. That's what he found, listening to himself in an empty apartment, thinking no one was home. 2 voices. And only one of them was ever his. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because it works. He really did want to catch his snoring, to prove she left over nothing. He got his proof. He's still lying in the dark. He hasn't used his voice in a while now, and it would be a shame to let a good voice sit quiet. You should hear what you sound like when you think no one's listening. Everyone should once. Go on. Put the phone down. Set it face down on the pillow, where the other head used to be. Feel how warm it's gotten against your ear. Then listen to your own breathing. Tell me it's the only breathing in the room. I'll wait. I've got all night.